This movie begins with a sight of a magnificent sea, where a beautiful clownfish couple lives. They have recently moved there and have already laid 400 eggs. The male, Marlin, chooses the name Junior Marlin for most of their eggs. However, his wife Coral loves the name Nemo and gives it to one of the eggs. The couple begins enjoying their life, but a wild fish appears, ready to shatter their happiness. Marlin tells Coral to get inside their home, but she moves toward the eggs. The wild fish is about to attack her, but Marlin fights back. The wild fish proves strong and throws him away. Marlin loses consciousness, and when he awakens, his world has been destroyed. The wild fish has killed Coral, and all their eggs are gone. In his despair, Marlin discovers one egg has survived. He promises to protect it for the rest of his life. Time passes, and the day comes for Nemo to start school. Marlin, now overprotective, is reluctant to let him go. However, Nemo is too excited to be stopped. Marlin applies ointment to protect Nemo and takes him to school. Along the way, Nemo asks about a turtle's age, but Marlin does not know as he has never met the turtle. At school, after passing through a group of fish, some mock Marlin for being a clownfish. They soon realize he is serious, but the other children tease Nemo for his small fin. Mr. Ray, the teacher, arrives and takes the students for lessons, while Marlin insists that Nemo must be watched carefully because of his tiny fin. Mr. Ray agrees and ensures Nemo's safety. Meanwhile, other fish warn Marlin that Mr. Ray will take the children to the drop-off point. Marlin becomes worried and starts following them. At the drop-off, Nemo and his friends explore and make a bet to touch a boat. Marlin arrives, furious, assuming Nemo is swimming into danger. He decides to take Nemo back and even considers not sending him to school for 2 more years. Nemo, angered by his father's interference, swims to the boat despite Marlin's warnings. He touches the boat, but a diver captures him in a plastic bag. Marlin tries to save him, but another diver arrives, takes a photo of Marlin, and leaves, separating the family. Marlin chases the boat, which speeds away with the motor. He continues pursuing, but eventually loses it, and begins asking other fish for directions. Only one fish, Dory, knows about the boat and agrees to guide him. During their journey, Dory forgets Marlin because she suffers from short-term memory loss. She briefly scolds him for following her, but remembers Nemo after he reminds her. As they continue, a shark named Bruce appears. Marlin is terrified, knowing Bruce could kill him instantly, but Dory seems excited. They reach a deserted area filled with explosives, where Bruce and 2 other sharks have sworn not to eat fish.
Right then, the meeting has officially come to order. Let us all say the pledge. I am a nice shark, not a mindless eating machine. If I am to change this image, I must first change myself. Fish are friends, not food.
Bruce last ate fish 2 weeks ago. Marlin notices the diver's goggles and attempts to retrieve them. Dory becomes curious, and the two fight over the goggles. During the struggle, Dory gets hurt, and Bruce smells blood, losing control. He attacks them, despite his friends trying to remind him of their oath. Marlin and Dory hide in a pipe, but Bruce grabs the goggles. When Bruce hits the pipe, a large tanker falls on him, allowing Marlin and Dory to escape with the goggles. The tanker crashes onto the explosives, causing the area to explode. Meanwhile, Nemo finds himself in a fish tank at a dentist's office. He is frightened and confused because he is used to the sea. The dentist informs Nemo that he will be given to his niece, Darla, who has a reputation for being cruel to fish. Nemo becomes scared and wants to return to his father. He gets stuck in a vacuum pipe, but Gil, one of the tank's fish, advises him to help himself. Nemo frees himself with little effort and celebrates his achievement. Gil then devises a plan to help Nemo escape before Darla arrives. Meanwhile, Marlin wakes up on a hanging pair of goggles from the ship, which is about to fall. He wakes Dory, and they narrowly avoid being crushed. The goggles fall into the abyss, and Marlin and Dory dive into the dark depths to retrieve them. They find a light coming from a wild sea creature with glowing tentacles. Initially soothing, the light becomes a symbol of danger. Dory reads the address written on the goggles' strap, while Marlin cleverly navigates between 2 narrow rocks to avoid being eaten. The address is P. Sherman, 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney, the location they need to reach to find Nemo. At the dentist's office, the tankfish wake Nemo and put him through a series of tests inspired by African traditions.
Nemo, newcomer of orange and white, you have been called forth to the summit of Mount Wanahakalugi to join with us in the fraternal bonds of tankhood.
Really?
If you are able to swim through the Ring of Fire!
Nemo successfully passes, earning the trust and welcome of the tank community.
From this moment on, you will now be known as Sharkbait.
Sharkbait! Ooh-ha-ha!
Welcome, brother Sharkbait.
Sharkbait! Ooh-ha-ha!
Gil reveals the escape plan. Nemo must enter the vacuum, place a stone in the machine, and then exit through a pipe. When the vacuum malfunctions, the dentist will remove him, allowing Nemo to jump out, cross the road, and return to the sea. Other fish worry the plan is difficult, but Marlin approves. Later, Marlin fears that Dory's presence may slow him down, so he asks her to leave, which makes her sad. At the same time, a crowd of fish passing by thinks Marlin is teasing Dory. Dory has forgotten much, but she remembers when Marlin mentions his son. She decides to help him find Nemo by asking about the address. One of the fish knows the location and guides them in that direction. They also warn Marlin to go through the middle of the trench instead of over it. When they reach the trench, Dory forgets the instructions but senses they shouldn't go over it. Marlin ignores her warning and insists on going above the trench. As a result, they encounter many poisonous jellyfish. Marlin soon realizes that the top of the jellyfish is safe, but the lower parts are toxic and can cause sepsis. They cross carefully by leaping on top. Marlin makes it safely, but Dory is stung by the jellyfish. Marlin rushes to save her and carries her out. Both are poisoned and fall asleep from the exposure. Meanwhile, Nemo follows the plan perfectly. He successfully stops the fan by placing the stone in it. However, when exiting the pipe, the vacuum turns on again, pulling Nemo in. Other fish break a branch and drag him out, preventing disaster. The group realizes they have been lucky and decides not to risk such dangerous maneuvers again. The scene shifts to Marlin, who awakens on the back of a turtle named Crush. Crush saw Marlin risk his life to save Dory from the jellyfish and is inspired by him. Marlin notices Dory is still asleep, but when she awakens, she plays with Crush's children. Marlin tells the little turtles the story of his adventure to find his son. The turtles are amazed and spread the tale throughout the sea, from the tiniest fish to the blue whale. Birds also share the story. When Nigel the pelican hears about it, he rushes to Nemo to inform him that his father is coming. In the fish tank, Nemo has lost hope that his father will rescue him. Nigel arrives and reassures him, which fills Nemo with joy and energy. Holding the stone, he enters the vacuum and successfully stops the cleaner. Gil instructs the other tankfish to make the tank as messy as possible. Meanwhile, Marlin asks Crush about Sydney. Crush tells him they will reach it by swimming through swirling water. Crush's son tries to guide them, but they don't understand, so he nudges them into the swirl. Surprisingly, they enjoy the ride. Marlin asks Crush his age. Crush says he is about 150 years old, but still young. Following Crush's guidance, they swim straight toward Sydney. Along the way, they encounter a whale. Dory claims she can speak whale. Marlin doubts her and warns against causing trouble, but Dory ignores him and calls out like a whale. The whale approaches, mistakenly swallowing Marlin and Dory along with some prawns. They explore the whale's mouth, trying to find a way out. Back at the dentist's office, the fish tank is heavily polluted. Mr. Dentist plans to clean it, which excites the fish because they will escape before Darla arrives. Meanwhile, Marlin and Dory struggle to escape the whale. Marlin lies down hopelessly, but Dory communicates with the whale, which allows them to pass through its throat. They are expelled from the whale's blowhole and realize they have reached Sydney, feeling relieved. The next morning, the tank is equipped with a new water purifier that automatically scans and cleans the water every 5 minutes. Gil tells Nemo to hide because Darla is approaching, but the dentist captures him in a net. Gil saves the fish by instructing them to swim downward, allowing them to escape temporarily. However, Darla appears, threatening Nemo again. Gil bravely intervenes, and the plastic bag is ripped open, freeing Nemo. Gil guides Nemo to the sink, leading him back to the sea. Nigel apologizes for being unable to help earlier, while Marlin, thinking Nemo is dead, asks Dory to leave. Nemo reaches the sea and encounters Dory, who initially doesn't recognize him due to her memory loss. Nemo guides her until she sees, quote, Sydney written inside an underwater pipe. She remembers everything and recognizes Nemo, joyfully helping him find his father. Marlin hears Nemo's voice and reunites with him. Their happiness is briefly interrupted when fish catchers trap the group. Marlin and Nemo escape by using their small size, but Dory is caught. Nemo instructs all the fish to swim downward, breaking the net and freeing everyone. The story concludes with Marlin taking Nemo to school, now confident in his son's bravery. Meanwhile, all the fish have escaped the tank and returned to the sea, ready for their next adventure. So what did you think of this movie? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more movie stories. See you next time.